It hasn't been changed. The procedure for conducting the review and the schedule for completing the review. Anything else?
You mentioned this is last couple of about 2 years ago. We had changed it with our then attorney, and it really kind of was modeled after the Space Coast TPO review. And so it's provided out to the executive committee members to fill out and return to our legal counsel, and then they'll summarize the results of the review and provide that back for discussion. Now, when we did it last year, we made this presentation at the April meeting and then presented the final review at the June meeting. We'd like to bump that up at least a month because it also impacts our budget moving forward. So we want to make sure that when we do bring the budget forward, that any implications or on the budget are reflected as well.
Okay, so you bumping it up means to speed the process up?
Have it occur a month earlier, so the timing of when we're also reviewing the budget, that they coincide with each other.
Okay.
March meeting.
Just typically.
I'm sorry, I
We're
didn't.
going on the March meeting?
Well, the March meeting, we would look at the May meeting.
Right, but you said last year we presented in April and then.
Last year, we had this discussion in April at the executive committee.
Okay.
Right.
And then the reviews were completed and submitted back to us toward the end of May. And then that way the finals were presented at the June executive committee and the June board. And we would just like to move that up a month.
So that's why it's on, instead of April last year, it's on it's March. That's why we're bumping. That's what you mean by bumping it up.
Yeah.
We've scheduled. The length of the process doesn't change. We're just starting the process a month early.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So the evaluation is exactly the same as it was last year.
Yeah, I think the changes a couple of years ago really made a lot of times these are so generic or unspecific that you feel like you can't truly evaluate the person. But I think I'm happy with what we've done.
More specific to the
Position.
More applicable to it. Okay. Right. So that's good. The procedure for conducting the review is just for us to complete the evaluation form. Who do we get it to?
So we do have a new legal counsel as of a couple months ago, and her name is Jeanette Smith. So when we send out the evaluation, we'll also include her information for you to submit back to her. And then I will also be in touch with her just to let her know, provide her with all of your names. So when she does see an email come through, that she knows what that's
Okay,
for.
so you'll be sending out these evaluations to us. We don't use what's in the budget packet, in the agenda packet?
Correct.
Okay, so there'll be a separate communication sending this to us. Will Mr. Bell participate in that?
That's up to the committee. I'm not sure the time frame for when the position
Next week?
takes effect for.
Yeah, next Thursday.
All right, so I think
This yours signed
I think yours is. Unless if we go ahead and approve this process, it is. Receive the email. If he receives the email before the new committee member, council, or commissioner is installed, he can still participate.
If that is, the discretion of the executive committee. We do have we will have a vacant executive committee position that we'll look at filling.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when I came in a little over a year ago, I had this in front of me and
You didn't have a clue.
well, I had a clue, but I didn't have.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
That's because of your election cycle. And it's because this process was a month later,
Mhm.
last year.
Well, you invited me in after Alvin got voted.
Well,
We'll see
we'll see how it lays out. I mean, if it's, I just don't know legally how they can do it. If he receives,
If I get it before
if you get it
Thursday,
before your, yeah,
then I'll fill it out and send it back. Otherwise,
then it should be,
then it'll
then
be.
he's still in the seat, and it should be legitimate.
I agree. I mean, if as long as the email comes in within the next week, I think we should be fine.
Right, well, it depends on when your commission meeting, when it gets, the new person gets installed. We'll see how the timing works, but other than that, we still have we'll have a quorum at least of respondees. Now, we need to be sure that each of us do actually respond and complete the survey in time to get it in. The more respondents we can have, the better an evaluation that we can then present up to the full board. What is the schedule for completing the review? What do we want to get this done by? Recommendations?
So if we do want to have it back, come back to this board in the May meeting, you would need to probably look at having something done no later than the middle of April. Now that's a month and a half. It could be done quicker. A lot of that depends on your all schedule as well.
Month and a half.
It's a worksheet. I think we should all be fine.
I think we would be good by April 1. In my opinion, I mean, we're all, can all take a bit of time here to get this done and ensure that it gets done. It just takes a little dedication on our part to sit down and get it done. If we say a month and a half, then it gets procrastinated and gets pushed off. So let's say, can we say 1st of April? Then you good with that? Have evaluation 1st of April?
Should be fine.
Let's just get that done for efficiency. That'll force me. I'm a procrastinator, so if I'm given a big amount of time, I put it off till the last minute. So let's get it done.
So you're including yourself.
I'm including myself because I'm bad at procrastinating. Because some of this makes the brain tissue hurt, and it's better to get it done quickly.
Now, is there a desire? I know the first year we went to this new format to have individual meetings with me as well. I think last year we did not do that, but if there's a desire for any member to want to meet with me separately, either prior to doing the review or after the review, I'm open to that as well. So we can just schedule that. You could reach out to Melanie and schedule that.
So what do we think, ladies and gentlemen? What do we want to? Do we want to have an individual one-on-one with Colleen? Do we want to leave it like last year and not schedule a one-on-one?
Leave it like last year, and then Colleen's very accessible. You can call her anytime for anything. I think if anybody wants to schedule a one-on-one meeting with them, they can. They'll do it on their own accord.
You want to leave it optional?
Yeah, I'm with that.
I think that's the way.
We'll leave it optional.
Whatever's good for the team. Whatever y'all want to do.
So we don't see, just off the cuff, we don't see any real issues with things going on. So I'm good with that. If there is a member that feels the need to schedule a one-on-one, then let it be so. But we won't say that there has to be that all of us need to go one-on-one meeting. So okay. Good morning, sir.
Traffic.
Yes.
Somebody did work on that. Now there's a semi rolled by the way station.
Ooh.
But 30-minute wait to get
Wow. Well, to catch you up to speed,
Trains and semis.
we're going on the first item executive director's annual evaluation process. And if you looked at if you reviewed the actual evaluation itself, we decided I would like your input as well because you're here to leave it as is. This is the second year with this format. And so we'll keep the evaluation process the same. The deadline, we kind of talked amongst ourselves, and the deadline for completion of it is April 1. The process is sped up a little bit. It's a month early than the process was done last year. And that's just for a timeliness factor.
I would agree that it should probably remain consistent over at least several years. That way we have the same target.
Okay. So the format, we decided to just leave the format the same. This was a format that was new to the committee last year. It was revised, and so this will be the second year that this particular format is used for that. And the April 1st timeframe for a deadline to get it. Now it will be issued, receive it in an email and with the directions of who to send it to, who to return it to. Okay, and then we have submitted or suggested a deadline of having it done by April 1st. I think 3.5 weeks is sufficient time to find 30 minutes to sit down and review it. Okay, glad you're on with that.
And explain about our open door policy prior to filling that out.
Yes.
That might be good for him.
Okay.
That's his first one.
Roger that.
I might have wanted to do that myself last year.
So part of the evaluation process, is to sit down with Colleen one-on-one. She's offered that option. We have elected as a group, or not elected, we have suggested or discussed as a group to do as we did last year and not require that, but it can be an option. That would be independently scheduled between you and her and the director. But we're not going to obligate her to sit down with all of us to do that. Particularly don't see a need at this point right now too, because the TPO is in a good position under good leadership, in my opinion. I'm not trying to sway the evaluation, but it's under good leadership, and all of the evaluation reviews and things have come back very good. So it's all good. Good with you. And we're caught up. We don't need to vote on anything for item A. Any more discussion on item A, or we covered that to death? Okay, very good. Now we have the review, and we recommend approval of the 2025 annual FDOT TPO Joint Certification Report. You want to explain that to us? Or do you want me to read it?
That's Kaya. Kaya will
Okay.
give that report.
I can give you an explanation. Annually, we look at a couple of parts of work that we do with the TPO. So for the first part is completed by the MPO or the TPO, and that's Colleen and Mariel, and they answer a few questions and they share some information with us. And then the second part is by myself and my colleagues that do a check, and we look at invoices, and this is from January 2025 to December 2025. So it's for the whole year. We look at invoicing. We do all planning documents, it's LRTP, PWP, tips, amendments, make sure that everything gets in by the correct date. We take a random invoice, we look through it, make sure it has all the correct information, everything is accurate, and everything was correctly documented. So thank you to Colleen and her staff and Mariel. All of their invoices, of course, were in on time, correctly documented. And then from those, we do basically a risk level assessment. And I am happy to say, again, this year we're at a low risk, and there is 100% review that was met on all of the lists and tables that we go through in the planning and checklist process. So we're happy. We look forward continuing our partnership with the TPO, but they did a great job with all the documentation. Our annual check, so we'll do another one next year because they're low risk. The risk level change, we just do annually and the frequency. Do that. That's our update this year, and everything's great.
Yes. Any comments from you guys?
Great and welcome news. You know, and go from a couple of years ago being on double probation or whatever you want to call it. Several years of good report. Great thing.
You know, and I think that's what went through a tumultuous change when the former leadership left, and it left everything in turmoil. And I think it's taken a couple of years for you and your staff to learn the procedures and get caught up. Huge learning curve for everybody. But now that they're caught up, they're exceeding or excelling, you know, on all bullet points. So I think that's fantastic report. Congratulations.
So you need a motion?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we recommend approval of the 2025 annual FDOT TPO joint certification report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Didn't hear any. Passes unanimously. Item C is to review and approve the January 7th Executive Committee meeting minutes. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. I'll look through it. I don't see it. Second.
All in favor of approving the January 7th Executive Committee meeting minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Said to hear. Passes unanimously. Now we come to review and approve the draft March 25th, 2026 TPO board agenda.
So the agenda this month on the consent, we have our typical reports. In addition, we have an update to our Central Florida MPO Alliance interlocal agreement. So that's just updating it to reflect any changes. Most notably is the change to our name within that particular agreement, and then anything else that's needs tweaked or changed. There's no major updates. The Central Florida MPO Alliance is the alliance of all District 5 plus the Polk TPO. We meet quarterly, and we do have 3 board members that sit on that alliance as well. For the action items, I believe we are going to have a TIP amendment this month. And then also we have an amendment to our UPWP. This is the amendment where we are going to be deobligating our funds from our current UPWP. So any funds that we don't see utilizing by the end of the fiscal year, we actually deobligate them from our current document. That way they're available to us in the first year of our new UPWP. So we're currently going through the process of compiling our new UPWP, which is our 2-year work plan. So we're doing that exercise of identifying the funds that we don't anticipate spending down by the end of the fiscal year. Any funds that we do not deobligate, that we leave in our current UPWP, and in the event we still don't spend those down, we don't lose them. They just roll into the second year of our UPWP. So we'll have that, and then we'll also have the joint certification reports for the agenda this month. Under the presentation and discussions, the last month we had a presentation on the Flagler County Transit Development Plan. So this will be any changes since then. The adoption of the final plan will have occurred before this meeting. So it'll just kind of an update of what the final plan that was adopted up in Flagler County. We also will have a presentation from Bike Walk Central Florida on the Best Foot Forward for pedestrian safety program. So this is a program that they are doing in both Volusia and Flagler County. And then a presentation of our annual call for projects. So during that presentation, we'll identify the projects that we received during the call, which just closed last Friday. We are currently processing and reviewing those applications at a staff level. if there are any issues with applications or questions about which categories that they may fall into, we will bring those to the board for, final votes or final determination on whether or not those projects are acceptable. Typically, we don't have a project like that since we have really refined our criteria and the policies moving forward. Most of the projects that we receive are very straightforward. So that's the proposed agenda. No proposed amendments.
Okay.
You know, when the, that goes before the county commission for the transit plan?
Stephen, are you aware of the Flagler County TDP when that's going before the Flagler County Board of Commissioners?
This month.
Do you know what date?
I have it written down.
I can find out.
It would be,
Just one.
it would be a third Monday. It's on their regular agenda.
Yeah, Monday is their day.
So it'd be an afternoon meeting, third Monday. Because they've already had their first.
Okay, was that this month? I guess it was.
That's Monday.
Well, that sounds like a pretty full agenda. That's going to be a good meeting. Get a lot of business done. Need a motion to approve the draft.
So moved, Clouden.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Very good. The draft agenda is approved for the March 25th meeting. Any staff comments? Any comments from y'all?
Well, I guess I'm gonna lead off. It's been short, but I've enjoyed being here. I appreciate the invitation. Feel a little odd being a small city and not having voting rights. It's sitting on the executive board and then sitting on the regular board and not be able to vote. So that's feels a little funny sitting up there at that table, not being able to vote. But anyway, so that being the case, I'd like to throw a name out there to replace my spot. Be another member from Flagler County, and my suggestion would be Commissioner Andy Gantz.
Okay.
From Flagler County.
We'll discuss that. Okay.
I don't know what the process is, because obviously the new commission in Flagler Beach hasn't been seated yet, and all that stuff. But I echo that. I think keeping some regional.
That would've
Yeah,
been
I
my
think for
suggestion.
participation on the executive committee, we'd like to see for people who have been go for some time. So,
But not me, right?
Well-
no, and I think Andy's been on the TPO for over a year and a half, right?
yes, yeah.
And he's very engaged. In particular, I think some of his strengths will be when we are talking about the e-bikes. That's something he tracks closely. He's an enthusiast, and he helped us draft our ordinance in Palm Coast, even though he's not on that board, and tried to make it align properly with state. He's very aware of what's going on in the state in that regard as well.
Right. Well, we like to see some people on the executive committee, but you might have been an exception because you're very engaged and you're very,
Talk a lot.
open to discussion, have good ideas, and not just sit occupying a seat. So that's why the invitation to the executive committee, because this helps steer the full board meeting. So appreciate your input, appreciate your suggestions.
I understand. I think Andy would be a person that should be engaged. So
we'll just reach out to him and see if
I can reach out to him. I mean, the way the bylaws read for the membership of the executive committee, it's the officers, the immediate past chair, and then there's 3 at-large members that are appointed by the chair. But it could be by consensus of the current executive committee. So if that is the pleasure of the executive committee, I would reach out to him and see if he's interested in willing to serve.
He is, he'll accept.
I mean, we're going against the norm on this process, but any objection to that?
Doesn't have to be against the norm, and we're giving you a suggestion.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
up to you to make the appointment.
I think
but
it's a good suggestion.
He's an excellent suggestion, and I was only going to say to make sure that he wants to make the commitment
Yeah.
to coming here.
Right,
the second day a month. so.
extra,
Yeah, an
extra meeting.
An extra day a month, yeah, I agree. So it's just that you have to ask them first. So I think it's a good, okay,
Reach out to him.
it's all good.
And if not, we trust you with another selection if he isn't.
Okay, well, if he turns it down, then we'll sit down and make another selection and reach out to that person, see if they're willing to commit an extra.
It's pretty much the same thing with
Okay.
Councilman Miller.
Any other comments? Mike, it's up to me now. I have, just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Thank you for taking that extra day drive down here, an extra day a month. But I appreciate your input and your engagement with the executive committee and with the full board, even if you don't have a voting seat.
Right.
It's just the way the small city alliance
Understood.
rolls.
Understood.
So it has been nice serving with you and I appreciate your service.
Oh, yeah, it won't be the last time you see me.
Okay.
I guarantee.
Well, you're always welcome to
Stephen
come to
can
the
tell you
peanut gallery.
that. Pam can tell you that. I've been around even before I became a commissioner. For quite, I don't know, I was on the CAC for probably 3 years
Mhm.
before getting elected.
Okay.
So I've been engaged with the TPO as a whole. Under one capacity or another.
Well, I just wanted to formally say thank you for your service on the board and on the executive. And yeah, stay safe out there. I appreciate everybody's sacrifice for coming in today. It's another short meeting, but it's important for us to set the stage for the full board meeting coming up later this month by having these meetings. So appreciate it. For journey.